Property Matters. Made better by Better Bond.
The decision to buy a home is made with your head and your heart. But the most important thing before putting pen to paper is to make sure that you understand all the legalities around the process, what to look out for, and how to make sure you're protected in case of a deal falling through. This topic needs the input of an expert. So today, I'm visiting the offices of STBB attorneys in Johannesburg to get some legal advice. Hi, Pam. So we've spoken on the show before about an offer to purchase, but what is it exactly?
Hi, Faith. So that's a good question. When a purchaser has made the decision to buy a property, basically what they need to do is it must be reduced in writing, submitted to the seller and say, look, I'm interested in buying your property. And the seller will then make a decision to say to accept that. In terms of the Alienation of Land Act, it's important that we note that it should be reduced in writing. There are further negotiations that will take part there, but essentially it's putting that on offer and being accepted by the seller, and it officially becomes an offer to purchase.
What are the most important things to look out for in an OTP? I mean, do we have a checklist to follow?
When you transact or any contract that you enter into, be very clear on the terms and conditions of that. It must be clearly identifiable in terms of the Alienation of Land Act. And we'll mention this a lot because that's what, basically guides us through this whole process. Be clear who the seller is. You're not just buying from Faith. Who's Faith, who the purchaser is, what the property is, where is it situated, what is the purchase price you'll be paying for that property, And, there's the terms and conditions because each and every single clause that is in that sale agreement is binding to each of the parties, So there are those type of things that you look for. When is occupation going to take place? Is it going to take place upon transfer? When you register the transfer? Is it going to be later? And if it's later or sooner, do you have to pay occupational rental? And, we guide clients and buyers and sellers with this.
Does an OTP have an expiry date?
We don't want contracts that are open-ended. Truth of the matter is, I want to give you an opportunity to say yes or no. So when estate agents who we work closely with, when we discuss these things, we actually just let them know. They will include an expiry date. What that basically means that the purchaser will make an offer to the seller. On a certain date, by a certain time, that offer must have been accepted. Should it not be accepted by that date, the offer is then lapses or expires.
So Pam, what are the most common mistakes made by buyers from a legal perspective?
The mistakes that I've seen in practice, number one, it's timelines. Timelines, we can break it down in a lot of things. It's payment of the deposit when it's due. How are you securing the purchase price? Are you securing a bond or part thereof? And when is that due? When is occupation taking place? Are there certain special conditions that are put in there and when they're expected? When are your compliance certificates going to be due? Do you understand that? And secondly, I said, are you going to secure the purchase price part in bond or are you going to secure it, cash? Is there bond? If there's a bond in place, you must be ready to engage with bond originators. You must be ready to engage with bankers. It can be quite an administrative process. It's stressful. But if you look at your timelines and you understand when you have to deliver, it already makes it easier. But I'm here to do that for you. I'm here to help you as the conveyancer to say, hi, hello, Faith, listen. So it's about that time. Are you ready with the deposit? It's about that time. Are you ready with the bond? It's about that time. Are you taking occupation early or later? So I will be there for that, but however, that's what I would say. When you're engaging, just look at those timelines. They're very pivotal, and so that we don't get in a position where you're in breach.
Thank you, Pam. Buying a house is a big financial commitment, so it's important to keep your wits about you. Make sure that you have a trusted legal expert on hand to explain the various processes, terms, and conditions. Also, remember that there is no such thing as a stupid question. Legal jargon can be confusing. Rather query anything you may not fully understand so that you're completely comfortable when you put your signature on the dotted line.